What's up everybody, SuperDurks fan here for another car review. This is of course the 2017 Chevrolet Camaro SS 1LE. Huge thanks to Tom Henry Chevy for providing me with this very sweet 1LE to review for you guys today. So about the 1LE Camaro, well, it's the track ready one that just looks so awesome. Especially I love this Arctic blue metallic, which looks silver in many lights, but here in direct sun it has a really nice light blue look to it and just looks awesome, especially in contrast with all the black 1LE goodies that you get here, including the satin black hood wrap, the satin black front lip, and then you also have the black side mirrors here and the rear spoiler there, which is larger and finished in satin black. And it really helps to set this off, you know, in combination with the black wheels that are much wider than your standard SS wheels and tires, and it just has an incredibly aggressive stance, and overall I think it just looks just as mean as all the other Camaros, and even more so here, especially in the front end, and all these little, you know, bits and pieces really help to differentiate it over a standard SS. Right, so the interior of the 1LE Camaro SS, well, it's a pretty cool place to be. Anyway, first things first, though, sitting down in these seats, these are the Recaro seats. That's one of the things you get here with the 1LE, and they're pretty aggressive seats, but they feel really awesome. They are a little bit on the firmer side. The seat bottom isn't super firm, but the seat back is definitely firmer than a standard SS, which has really soft and amazing seats that are also very supportive. But these Recaros are, I mean, the bolstering is super beefy, but it's wide enough, you know, that it's not super constricting, you know, but it is just really nice support, and yeah, just really awesome seats overall, and they feel very similar to the ZL1 seats. Next to the steering wheel in the 1LE, which is covered in this microfiber suede kind of material, and feels really great, and has the nice 50 badge here for all 2017 models to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the Camaro here. And yeah, your same typical flat bottom, wonderful Camaro steering wheel they have here in all the 6th gens that I really love. You have the paddles here to activate the rev match, auto rev match downshifts here with the SS's, and yeah, I mean, just, you know, a few buttons here and there, but overall just a fairly simple and just a really great wheel to use. Next is the gauges in the 1LE, which are the same as in normal SS, you know, with the analog portions there for the tachometer and the speedometer, and then you have that nice large digital portion there that gives you all your auxiliary gauges there, and it is also very cool to have all the customization. You can display all your other performance metrics that you would like in there, including there's also a cool little torque split thing there for the E-diff, which the SS 1LEs have, and I'll get more into that in a little bit, but very cool to be able to keep tabs on that as well, and overall just really great gauges. Coming over to the center of the dashboard here, obviously the same as any other Camaro, which is very good. I still really enjoy these Camaro interiors. Just your simple screen here, 8 inches, Chevrolet MyLink, same as all the other 2017 model year Chevy stuff, and works really great. Has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which is very much appreciated. This one also has the performance data recorder option, which is I think $1,300, and is very handy though if you plan to track these. It'll record all your performance metrics there and overlay them on video that is displayed there. There's a little camera underneath the rearview mirror here, and so very cool to have that. But overall, you know, the screen works well, radio controls and all the all very easy to use and straightforward. And coming down, all you have left is the climate controls here with, you know, just a few buttons. Very simplistic. I still love how your climate control for the temperature is built into the vents themselves here. Very clever idea. I still love those. And overall, just a very clean and so refreshingly simple interior layout. It's really great to use. Shifter in the 1LE, I think is about the same as a standard SS. Feels really great though. You know, a little bit stiffer, you know, just very meaty feeling, and feels really satisfying to roll through the gears there. And here for the 1LE, it's also the microfiber suede kind of material here, again also on the shift knob and for the shift boot, which is a nice touch as well. As far as storage space in the 1LE, same as any other Camaro SS, where, starting off in the door here, you have a nice sized map pocket, but no bottle holder. Not too much storage there. There isn't a whole lot of storage in the center part of the Camaro either here. There isn't any kind of bins up front. You just have two nicely sized cup holders. You have a little power outlet here, and then you open up your center armrest, which is, somewhat padded, but still fairly firm. You open that up, and then you have a small limited amount of space in there, enough to fit a few knickknacks, but not a ton. You also have two USB jacks and an auxiliary jack in there. So, good to have those. It would be nice, though, to have a USB jack somewhere outside of this little glove box here for whenever you're using Apple CarPlay and stuff like that. But still, like I said, the Camaro's strong suit has never been its storage space. But again, you're talking about a sporty car. Most people probably won't care. And you do also have behind your center armrest here, you reach back to the back seat here, you'll see a nice large cubby there as well. Speaking about that back seat though, same as any other Camaro back seat, of course, where, most coupes, it's pretty tight. This is no exception. I'm 5'9", and me sitting behind myself, it is certainly a tight squeeze. You're not going to want to put someone back there all the time, but it is a usable back seat, in a pinch. So it all just depends on the size of the driver and the passenger as far as how usable those rear seats will be. But certainly a fairly tight fit there. Trunk space in the 1LE is, pretty good. It's a very deep trunk here in the new Camaros, and you can also fold down these rear seats so that you can have a very long, area there to put stuff if you need to. And so, because of those two things, it's actually a fairly versatile vehicle in that regard, and a very usable trunk for sure. All right, so start up and go for a drive. All the Camaros here have a very nice key. It's got a really great feel and a nice weight to it. Anyway, of course, it's keyless entry, push button start, so you just leave the key in your pocket, hit the engine start button, and it roars to life. Oh, it sounds so good with this dual mode exhaust. Alright, so setting off in the 2017 Camaro SS 1LE. So the first thing you notice here is, like all the other 6th gen Camaros, visibility isn't its strong suit. It's certainly a very slim windshield, the smallest windshield I think in the industry, honestly. Very small, small side windows with a high sill here as well. So visibility is definitely limited, but it's not a deal breaker. You can certainly get used to it, and it's not the end of the world, but certainly a sharp difference over the other vehicles in this segment that it competes against. View out of the back is also fairly limited there, with again a high rear deck lid area there, so limited visibility, but you do have a backup camera and you can get blind spot monitoring here with the 2SS and stuff, and so there are ways to work around that. Other things you notice, I love the Camaro SS's transmission and clutch. They're so easy to use. I think the clutch is a little heavier for some reason in the 1LE. I don't think they changed anything with that. It does feel a little bit stiffer than a regular SS to me, but overall it still is a very easy clutch and transmission to use, and just a very easy thing to drive. So right now, just cruising slowly on a little back road here. I have the suspension set up in the touring mode, and this one does have the magnetic ride control. That's one of the things you get with the SS's 1LE package, and it does have the FE4 suspension, which is new to the Camaro. It's different than the standard Camaro SS suspension setup. Probably some stuff shared with the ZL1. This does have the electronic rear differential from the ZL1, which should help with putting the power down better. But anyway, this suspension, the magnetic ride control, does a great job of smoothing things out whenever you want to have it relaxed. I mean, it still does feel a tiny bit firm and sporty, obviously, like you would want and expect from a Camaro, but it is a very livable ride, especially here in touring mode. And touring mode also quiets down this exhaust, so that if you don't want to wake up the neighbors and stuff, this is certainly the more tame option. Alright, so let's turn onto this straight road here first and see how a 1LE does. Here we go. Woo, okay, we got some wheel spin there. I can't believe this thing spun the wheels. Now, it is a little bit on the cooler side today, 50 degrees, but still we got 305s in the back there, Eagle F1 tires. I can't believe that it spun those. We still have the same 455 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque as the regular Camaro SS from the 6.2 liter V8 engine that's direct injected, but oh man. Ooh, the punch in this thing. The Camaro SS is just, oh, it's so much fun. You got that, I mean, that torque is just mountainous, and so it just pulls in any gear at any RPM, and here with the wider tires, it certainly does help to put the power down better, because I remember the standard Camaro SS was even squirrelier than that, but I love that. I like that they actually probably built that in. You know, they make it tail happy in the back end there. Not enough to really scare you, but enough to have fun and make sure that you pay attention and you're on your toes whenever you're getting on it, because oh man, this thing is a blast. And out on the open road now here in the sport mode, still it's a very smooth ride. I mean, we're on, you know, nicely paved roads here, but you know, very livable, still very much refined, just like any other Camaro SS. Oh, I can hear the crackles and pops from that exhaust. It sounds so good. Anyway, going up to some corners here now. Again, I mean, this thing now, the 1LE, the tire setup is bonkers. It's 285 in the front and 305 in the rear. That's almost as crazy as a Z28, not quite, but man, I mean, it's a huge improvement over the 245 wide front tires of a normal Camaro SS, and those have 275 in the rear. So I mean, you're not going to even approach the limits of these tires on any kind of road at any kind of normal insane speeds. Again, the 1LE is the track-ready package, and at the track, this thing, you probably would have a hard time even reaching the limits there, but at least it would have more of a challenge than it does here, even on these tight back roads. Another acceleration, though. It's just a rocket. Love it. Other things to note, though, about this new suspension here in the 1LE. I mean, it just handles great, and even now these roads are bumpier, and even in sport mode here, it does a really good job of keeping it under control. You know, it's not really too bumpy, honestly. It feels pretty nice. I'm taking it a little bit easier on these tires because these are summer tires and it is not summer, but I mean, the steering weight is definitely a little heavier than a regular SS, and that also is, again, because of those super wide front tires, but it really makes it super beefy. Not overly so, but I mean, you just have really great steering feel here, and this thing, it's a point and shoot rocket. You just tell it where to go, and it does it without any drama or fuss. This is almost, the 1LE packages, I kind of look at it as the Grand Sport treatment that the Corvette gets, where you don't improve the horsepower or anything at all, but you just, you know, give it enormously fat tires, an awesome suspension setup, and it just makes it 10 times better. You know, and like I said, at least here in the cooler temperatures, you still get some tail happiness there in the back end whenever you're stomping on it from a stop. But obviously, if you're going to be doing any kind of, you know, handling kind of stuff, you're going to have that sure-footed feeling that you want. One thing that I don't enjoy, though, about the Camaros here is that they forced you to do the 1-to-4 shift for fuel economy, and I think there's an easy way to get around that, but, you know, from the factory, it's a little annoying to not be able to go into second whenever you want to. There we go. Yeah, it still does want to spin these rear tires. Oh, it's great. One thing, though, you know, with these tires being so wide, this thing has really impressive max cornering G. According to Chevrolet, this will do 1.02 Gs of max cornering. So, I mean, it's got insane amounts of grip. That's really impressive. Another thing that's very impressive, this has the performance Brembo brakes that are nicely finished off with the ZL1 painted calipers there that are bright red. And I mean, they are also really confidence inspiring. I mean, it's a stiffer brake pedal. It gives you really great feel, though, and I mean, incredible bite. Again, another thing that you'll never use probably the full potential unless you're in emergency situations on the road, because it's just way more brake than you even need on the streets here. I mean, the standard Camaro SS handled amazingly already, had plentiful brakes already. This is just overkill, honestly, but that's the whole point of it, is it's just raising the limits even more so. The Chevy likes to say it's even like, you know, it's got supercar capabilities, essentially, with the handling, and even the straight line acceleration and stuff is very impressive. But yeah, so it's just a heck of a car. But yeah, it's just, I mean, honestly, it's what you would imagine a 1LE. If you've ever driven a standard Camaro SS, just imagine it with more grip, you know, more poise, a little bit of a stiffer suspension setup, and I would say that this feels a lot more sure-footed. Now, the standard Camaro SS, those love to dive into corners because the steering feels a little bit lighter, and the whole car itself feels a little lighter. This actually reminds me of like the feel of like a ZL1, like the previous gen ZL1, or even like the Z28s, as far as how, you know, the suspension feels a little stiffer and much flatter in corners. So it's, again, just personal preference. If you like that flatter cornering, or if you like the looser feeling of the standard Camaro SS, which is still, again, totally sufficient, very, very impressive. The standard Camaro SS will run circles around cars twice its price, and, you know, nothing to scoff at for sure. But the 1LE just, oh man, what a package. And it's not even that much. Now, it's not a cheap package, I will say that. $6,500 for the 1LE package. So as you're seeing it here on this, you know, base model 1SS, you know, V8, of course. This one, if you didn't get the performance data recorder, it would be $43,000 and change. With the performance data recorder, this exact one is in the $45,000 range. So, I mean, you know, it's a little bit pricey, but honestly, for a fully track prepped car, I mean, this also has like an additional transmission cooler that a standard Camaro SS doesn't have, and it's just beefed up, you know, for better cooling and whatnot. All that kind of stuff, you know, you could go and, you know, do all these parts a la carte individually through the aftermarket if you want, but why not just get, you know, it's backed by a warranty, you got all the stuff all ready to go, you just, you know, drive it off the showroom floor and go straight to your nearest racetrack and have a blast. Just sounds like a really great combination, and I mean, it certainly does not disappoint, but I wasn't expecting it to after all. Another random little thing that I noticed about the 1LEs here is because you get the nicer cars, even though this is the base 1SS, you still get, you know, the leather and Alcantara seats here, and that means that you also get a leather back seat, which you normally wouldn't get with the 1SS. So that's a nice little improvement. Otherwise, I mean, the 1SS is already so nice. I don't even see why you really need the 2SS, honestly, unless you want the better, you know, the blind spot monitoring and stuff like that. But, you know, you can get one of these for $43,000. I think you're gonna have a hard time finding something that does a better job for this price. It really can't be beat. Chevy's at the top of their game here with the 6th gen Camaro. They just drive better than all the competition, and you know, they're competing with things that they usually didn't compete with, like M4s and stuff like that, where it's just it's a lot more poised than an M4. I gotta say, I've driven M4s and M3s. This has more grip, certainly has higher limits as far as handling, and feels a little flatter, I think, as well. And yeah, just overall an absolute blast. So anyway, huge thanks once again to Cam and Tom Henry Chevy for allowing me to review this very awesome 1LE for you guys. If you're interested in 1LE or any kind of Camaro for that matter, Tom Henry gets tons of them in. They're getting plenty of 1LEs in, and so all their contact info is in the description below, so you can you know, check them out, give them a call, tell them I sent you, and they'd be more than happy to help you out. So anyway, thank you guys very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Take care.